regard an urgent meeting of all opposition party floor leaders called by CP and Leader of Opposition Kharge shortly in his parliament office. Remember, even yesterday there were opposition parties who had met in his chambers. That also included the Trinamool Congress. It included the SP. Going across to my colleague Pallavi Ghosh, who's been tracking this very closely. Very good morning to you, Pallavi. The ruckus expected to continue in the parliament today, but will their demands be met?
Well, it's highly unlikely that the demand is going to be met, because yesterday the chairperson and the speaker made it very clear that this is an issue which is outside the House and the relevant agencies are going to give a clarification, and therefore the parliament cannot debate and discuss this. But that doesn't mean that opposition parties will not put pressure. They'll continue to put pressure, and they've upped their demand. They now want a joint parliamentary committee probe, which means that even members of the opposition party are going to be a part of the JPC to probe into irregularities, if there is any help or nudge it got from the government or not. So clearly, another Friday, another weekend we are heading for, with possible slowdown and no work being done. And in a short while from now, in fact, the opposition party meeting will be beginning.
Pallavi, the opposition parties are going to be meeting at the chambers of Mr. Kharge. Who are the opposition parties expected today? Will we see a carryover from the same parties that attended yesterday?
Well, one certainly thinks so, but because yesterday we saw that there was a semblance of, kind of unity. But that unity need not get translated during elections or beyond parliament. But clearly this is an issue on which every political party in the opposition spectrum would be wanting to be seen on the right side. And since morning, we are seeing notices being given by, say, the AAP, the Shiv Sena, and all the opposition parties like the BRS and Congress as well.
Pallavi, stay with us. Let's also take a look at the political reactions coming into this story, starting with KC Venugopal.
The way in which the government of India is using the common people money, the public exchequer, for supporting their closest friends in this way is quietly contemptible and unacceptable. The Congress party is decided to have a national-wide agitation throughout the district of this nation. Our party leaders and workers will have a demonstration in front of the LIC's office and the SBI offices throughout the country, protesting the government way of approach to supporting their friends. Because this is quite unfortunate.
डिस्ट्रप्शन के ज़रिए, हुड़दंग के ज़रिए, जिस तरह से हाईजैक करने की षड्यंत्र और साजिशें कई सत्रों से पहले से दिखाई पड़ती हैं, वो उसी का एक और नज़ारा है। अब दिक्कत ये है, जब सरकार ने बहुत स्पष्ट तरीके से कहा है कि वो हर इशू पे डिबेट के लिए तैयार है, डिस्कशन के लिए तैयार है, तो आप उसमें क्यों नहीं पार्टिसिपेट करते? असल में इनकी दिक्कत ये हिट एंड रन, इनके पास मुद्दा है नहीं, मुद्दों के दिवालियापन है, तर्क है नहीं, तथ्य है नहीं, तथ्यों और तर्कों की कंगाली है। पहले से आप कहने शुरू कर देंगे कि साहब ये कमेटी बना दो, ये कमेटी बना दो। आप डिबेट पे तो आओ, फ्लोर पे तो आओ। आपके पास क्या, आपके जो है वो पोथी में कौन सा तर्क और कौन सा तथ्य है, ये तो आप बताओ।
पर बिल्कुल साफ हो गया है, स्पष्ट है कि मोदी सरकार इस पर विपक्ष को अपनी ओर से जेपीसी की मांग भी उठाने देने के लिए अनुमति नहीं देती। कई पार्टियों का मानना है इस पर जेपीसी हो, कुछ पार्टियां इस विचार सोच के हैं कि एक सुप्रीम कोर्ट मॉनिटर्ड इंक्वायरी हो, पर कुछ ना कुछ जांच तो होनी चाहिए, निष्पक्ष जांच होनी चाहिए। ऐसे तो सेबी और आरबीआई तो दो संस्थाएं हैं जिनको जांच कराना जरूरी है, पर हम मानते हैं कुछ निष्पक्ष जांच की जरूरत है। इसीलिए हमारी ओर से, कांग्रेस पार्टी की ओर से हमने ये मांग रखी है कि जेपीसी हो। कुछ ऐसी और पार्टियां हैं जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट मॉनिटर्ड इंक्वायरी चाहते हैं, पर कुछ भी हो, जांच हम चाहते हैं, पर उसका जिक्र भी हमें करने देने नहीं जाता था।
जनता का पैसा जो लगा हुआ है, स्टॉक मार्केट में लगा होगा, LIC के माध्यम से लगा होगा, SBI के माध्यम से लगा होगा, वो कल रातों रात कौड़ी के भाव हो गया। जिस तरीके से 1,40,000 करोड़ का मार्केट कैपिटल कल खत्म हुआ है और अदानी ग्रुप को मजबूर किया है FPO वापस लेने के लिए, वो देश में चर्चा उसकी होनी चाहिए। जिस तरीके से घोटाला हम देख रहे हैं, 2014 से एक ही ग्रुप को जिस तरीके का फायदा हो रहा है, सेबी ने भी इनको फेल किया है, सरकार ने भी उनको फेल किया है। इसीलिए हम चाह रहे हैं कि एक जॉइंट पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी का गठन हो। अगर वो नहीं पॉसिबल है तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया के मॉनिटर्ड ये प्रोब हो कि किस तरीके से इतनी खुली छूट दी गई एक ही ग्रुप को कि इन्वेस्टर्स को एकदम उनका कॉन्फिडेंस चकनाचूर कर दें।
Well, going back to my colleague Pallavi Ghosh, our senior editor, who joins us with more on this. Pallavi, yesterday, 9 opposition parties had given notices. There were meetings that were conferred. There are demands that are being raised. But the speaker refused to allow any discussion. Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi has said that the government is ready to debate all issues except the outside matters. So exactly what are they open to debate when it comes to the Adani FPO?
So there's no clarity yet, neither from the chairperson nor from the speaker, whether there is actually going to be debate and discussion. Because Shilpa, if there had been a clarity, and I guess that the records we are seeing inside Parliament would not be taking place. So it's very, very clear that the government also doesn't want to get involved in this entire issue. Sources in the government always tell us that, the required agencies are actually dealing with the issue. Whatever statement had to be issued has been done by Mr. Gautam Adani, and there's no reason why the government needs to step in, which is why the government has decided to brazen it out also and not get too involved. But the opposition finds that this can be a huge handle that they can use. And look at the kind of a strategy they've adopted. I mean, when you go and do protests outside the LIC offices, clearly you're targeting the middle class, the lower middle class. You're talking about the poor people who need to bank on these kind of small savings and on the insurance. That's the angle that they are using.
Well, yes, indeed, Pallavi. They've been talking about LIC and the SBI being investors in Adani, which has lost value of about $100 billion already. And they've been highlighting this issue. But also, it is proving the opposition to be weak because though they're raising this issue, they aren't able to substantially push it or raise an argument, leave alone the monitoring probe that they're asking for.
But I mean, they are pushing as much as they can, but a JPC probe, if it has to be accepted by the government, and that doesn't seem to be happening. It's highly unlikely that the government will agree to a JPC. We're going to wait to see what happens now because the House will reconvene at 11 a.m. Also by 10:30, the opposition party meeting will be over. So then we'll get a fair idea about how do they plan to go ahead with these kind of protests against the government.
Thank you very much, Pallavi, for bringing us up to speed. We'll keep an eye on this.